creepy girl that was like hiding in the closet. People should know that people die in this book. Scary start. Super gory, very scary. The vine itself is acting in kind of a sinister way. Hello my friends, we are camping again, but this time I only brought horror books on purpose. I'm gonna see how scared I can make myself with these books. I have heard that all 3 of them are specifically really good horror books for when you're camping, and so let's try them out together. I'm kind of scared already because I started Fantasticland last night. I only read the author's note and it already had me rethinking this whole weekend, like if I should actually do this, because the author's note alone is pretty scary. It gives like a visual of 5 people being like right off the bat, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is a good idea, but here we are. We're gonna give it a go. I also brought with me The Ruins and Heads Will Roll. I've heard both of these are really good. I haven't read anything by these authors either, and so I'm very intrigued. My hope is that I will finish all 3 this weekend. We will see how that goes. But yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere, so wish me luck. We drove up this morning. We just went for a really fun bike ride. We're about to eat some hot dogs and then go fishing. And so I will get to reading soon. Let's see how this goes. Okay, update. So what's funny is like 15 minutes after I filmed that intro, I was like panicking because that first campsite was way too hot. It was like 87 degrees and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. So we drove around for a bit to get a little higher and now we are at a much more pleasant campsite. I will say it's still like probably 80 degrees, but compared to 87, it feels a lot better and there's some shade, and so we're in a better place. I was reading, and then also Alex came back from fly fishing with a freaking fly attached to his arm, and so we had to extract it from his arm. And anyway, that was stressful. But back to the book. I'm only 60 pages in, and I'm gonna say the author's note was a lot scarier than the beginning of this book. The beginning of this book, it kind of goes back to like operational issues when the hurricane starts. It's just a bunch of interviews with people who were like at the theme park when the hurricane was hitting, and it's like kind of the beginning of the storm. Also, side note, you guys should know, I apologize for not telling you guys anything about these books. I like to go into books blind, and so generally when I'm going to make these videos, I'm going to start the books without really knowing what they're about, and then I'll fill you guys in as I'm reading it. So this book is about, there's a hurricane coming in Florida. People, I think it like trapped at this amusement park, and things go really bad really quick. As of right now, I think there were a lot of people who didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was. They're in storm shelters. They didn't escape. And now that the storm is hitting, I think people are starting to get restless because they're like hunkered down underground, not really knowing what's going on. Cards only get you so far. And so things are starting to kind of get a little bit, there's some tension, I would say. I'm only 60 pages in. It's only a 250 page book. We'll see if I can get through it tonight. I will update you guys as I go. All right, my friends, reading update. So this morning we woke up, I read for a little bit, and then we went for a fun little bike ride. I have less than 100 pages left in Fantasticland, and I am making the difficult decision to DNF it. The reasoning. So the whole book is told in interviews, which means it's reflecting, like all of them are talking about what happened in the past. And so I think that disconnect is number one, the reason that it isn't feeling so scary because it's in the past. And then also in the interviews, they're all talking about like the killings and stuff pretty casually. Like there's not that present tense tension. And so first off, it's just not very scary. Second off, all of the interviews, there's just like a lot of fluff. Like they're all talking about random things that are kind of going on in their lives or like dynamics between the workers and stuff like that, like kind of drama stuff versus like cold hard facts. Sure, there's like a quote unquote tribe that is kind of going crazy and like they are the ones that are essentially like killing people and everything. But like I said, there's just such a disconnect because the interviews, they're all talking about something that happened in the past. So it's just like not that scary. Also, the setting is in an amusement park, and granted, it is like secluded. So the creator of the theme park, they wanted it to be like away from civilization or like roads or other amusement parks, that kind of thing. So it is like secluded. They say that, you know, they're surrounded by like acres and acres of trees, but there are also, you know, stores and like shelters because it is a theme park. And so it's also just not the vibes that I was hoping for while we are camping. I'm not scared. I don't feel the sense of stress that I was hoping for. And so I'm going to DNF. It's just not at all what I was hoping for. So that's kind of sad. With that said, we are going to start at the ruins. I know for a fact that this is set like in the jungle, and so I think that this will hit a little harder. Also, Stephen King himself endorsed this book. He said, the best horror novel of the new century. That is quite the claim. So I'm really excited to start this one. Yeah, let's open it up. Fingers crossed, I'm about to get really scared. Read an update. I am about halfway through the ruins, and this is definitely hitting a lot harder. They're in like hot, humid Mexican jungle. I am in hot, not humid, but very hot wilderness in a remote location. They basically like, it's two couples. They head to Mexico for like a fun little vacation. They meet some other people visiting the area. One of their like new friends had lost his brother on the trip, and so they're like, okay, well, we will go and help you find him. So they head to this like secluded ruins. The taxi driver is like, no good, like do not go there. And they're like, well, we kind of have to because we need to find this dude's brother. So they go, they stumble onto this like not even really town. It's like a very secluded, remote, some kind of habitation. Well, I guess it's a town. It's like a very remote town. They have no electricity. It doesn't seem like they have running water. And also like the Mayans seem like they are pissed that they are there. So they're clearly unwelcome. And then Pablo falls into a hole. They have to like lift him out of this hole. His back is broken. Now they're like kind of stuck there. And a couple of them are like kind of injured now, and basically there's this vine that apparently is like kind of taking over their bodies. It's acting like the vine itself is acting in kind of a sinister way. So anyway, it's definitely getting good. Halfway through, enjoying it, and I'm curious where this is gonna go. Also, as you can see, Alex found me a nice shady spot, and so I am definitely chilling. Happy to be here. The views are beautiful. He's fishing. It was just like too hot in the location that we were at. He said even the fish were too hot. They like were basically hiding, and so we headed up a little higher, and it is significantly better. So anyway, let's get back to reading. Okay, so I just finished the ruins, and I think I need some time to comprehend what happened. It was definitely not like just slasher. I thought that it would be a little bit more like human on human horror, but it was actually a lot more environmental horror, which was perfect for camping. That's all I will say. It does also get really gory, so just be prepared for that if you go into this. Also, if you are someone that does not like books that have literally no chapters, this will not be for you. There's not a single chapter in this book. It just is continuous the whole time. So I would say it's definitely binge worthy. It's like 350 pages, so you can definitely get through it in a day. I think the other thing that I was thinking about when I was reading this is I didn't personally feel super scared, which is, again, a bummer. Other than the fact that I feel like, no spoilers here, people should know that people die in this book, and they have like underwhelming reactions to that. And I was like, you guys, these are your friends. Like, that was weird to me. But anyway, I thought that it was good. I definitely enjoyed this a lot more than Fantasticland. Would recommend for camping for sure. And now I'm going to start Heads Will Roll. I am super excited about this book. This is for sure like summer slasher. I actually had this on my Summerween TBR, and then I realized that I should save it for actual camping because this is like set when you're camping. We got some s'mores, we got some machete. We'll see how this goes. So Alex is making dinner right now, and I'm gonna pop this open, get it started, eat dinner, and then finish it off reading this. Wish me luck. Scary start. Good morning. Reading update. So Heads Will Roll is the book I was looking for. It is hitting everything I was hoping for. The setting is like they're out in these cabins in the middle of nowhere, no cell phones, super remote, and already people are kind of going missing. I'm like halfway through, and the whole premise is like it's kind of like summer camp for adults where you go to like get away from the world because it's so remote. And so it's like a group of adults. They're all like kind of sharing why they're there and like kind of what they're going through. Yeah, the setting is just perfect. I really like the characters already. It's kind of the perfect blend of horror and thriller. Like it's very fast paced and it's keeping me guessing. And there are also like these cool passages that are different things. Like there's I don't want to say like a warrant for arrest, but like a citation that they find. And there's like a creepy girl that was like hiding in the closet, but apparently she's like someone's sister. It's just like spooky things already happening. And like I said, people are already disappearing. And so, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. This is what I wanted the other two books to be. So I guess we're saving the best for last, huh? Alrighty, my friends, we just got back home to Salt Lake City and it is over 100 degrees and super smoky, which isn't shocking. It was both really hot and super smoky up in Idaho too. This morning we woke up and there was ash all over our cooler and our camp chairs just because it blew in with all of the fires in the West. Like almost all of the West right now is on fire, which is brutal. Yeah, it's really hot. I'm gonna do a quick little recap for you guys and then we're gonna unload the camper and kind of get back into home mode. Again, do not recommend. Did not love this. It was really slow. I talked to some book girlies too and they agreed that it just like never picked up. I don't know why this is marketed as such like a scary horror slash thriller. I did not get that from this book at all. So yeah, DNF'd, wouldn't recommend. The Ruins, I will recommend with the caveat of only if you are looking for environmental horror. This was not that scary to me. The things that scare me more are like more realistic, like murderers and home invasion and like being stalked, like that kind of stuff. So this did not give the vibe that I thought that it was going to. So I recommend it as a book. I don't really recommend it as like camping horror. Oh, but heads will roll, I do, because I finished this while Alex was fishing this morning and on the drive home, and I loved it. This is exactly what I wanted. It was definitely like well balanced in the thriller and horror. I felt like it was really fast paced. It was definitely suspenseful. I didn't know who the killer was going to be. They like offed them one by one, creating a lot of like terror within the characters in the book. And yeah, I definitely recommend this. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. Perfect summer slasher. And then because I feel like the first 2 books were kind of a fail, I wanna give you guys some more recommendations that if I hadn't read these before, I would want to take them camping for horror books in the future. I loved all of these. I think they would be a way better fit than those other 2. I've talked about this book like 3 times in my videos. You can't not talk camping horror without talking about The Troop. This is perfect if you're gonna go camping and you're looking for something to scare the shit out of you. I will say just check trigger warnings. Do not read this if you're afraid of bugs. Next up we have It's Not Her. I read this earlier this year and I could not put this down. It definitely leans more thriller than horror, but it's set at a lake in a cabin, and so if you're going camping, especially on a lake in a cabin, this would be a perfect fit. But in general, I think that this would be a great camping horror book slash thriller, just because it's so fast paced, and this one really did have me sweating and like checking over my shoulder, so definitely recommend. Next up we have The Last to Drown. I just finished this last week and it is perfect for summer. The whole thing is set on like a raft trip and this is marketed as thriller. I actually feel like it's more horror. It's super gory, very scary. So if you're going anywhere close to a river, I would highly recommend taking this with you. Next up, The Breakup Retreat. This actually reminded me, or Heads Will Roll reminded me a lot of this book. This one is less summer slasher. I think it's actually set, I think it's translated and I think it's actually set in like Sweden or something. I could be wrong about that, but it's definitely less summer slasher and more just like creepy summer cabin. Leans more thriller than horror, but but super good. Next, we have You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. This and Slasher Summer, these all kind of fit in the same genre as Heads Will Roll. They're all summer slashers. They're all set in the woods in the summer, getting picked off one by one by like an anonymous killer. You're trying to figure out who the killer is the whole time. I would recommend all of these for a long weekend of camping. That would be super, super fun. So those are my recs. I had a good time. I'm kind of bummed because the 2 out of 3 books didn't hit the vibe that I was hoping for, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. Hopefully the recommendations I just gave you guys will be hits. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next week.